YouTube, what's going on? YouTube, what is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, you got one more time, DEDRICKHICKSJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. All right, Smell Good family. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. Positive energy and positive vibes. Y'all know how we rock here on this channel. All right, so you know, the conversations out there for the majority, well, not the majority, yeah, as of late, the majority has been clones, independent fragrance, independent houses who do clones, so forth and so on. So in my opinion, one of the better inspired by houses or clone houses, independent houses, whatever verbiage you would like to use, to me, is Alexandria fragrances. All right, so at least once or twice a year I dedicate some content towards what Alexandria has to offer, and with it being the fall season and the winter on the way, I have 5 Alexandria fragrances here that would work really well for this time of year, particularly the upcoming fall season. Well, this current fall season, the upcoming winter season. All right, so these all are done beautifully. I'm going to talk about them obviously individually, but all 5 of these, man, for the cooler months, you can save you some money. Some of the ones we're talking about today are harder to get. The originals are hard to get, and just a unique experience that you get with Alexandria fragrances, especially in the quality. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Up first, we're going to be talking from the house of Alexandria fragrances, probably maybe my favorite out of all 5 of these. We have Fatale de Vanille. Fatale de Vanille. This is a clone of Tom Ford's Vanille Fatale. Okay, so they are not apologetic about the names, but this is a boozy, warm, sweet, spicy fragrance, man. You have some tobacco in here as well. That's just the best way that I can describe it. Now, all of these are extrait de parfum concentration, and the thing about my Alexandria is now that they've had time to macerate and settle, so the performance on these are just astronomical. And how close is this to the Tom Ford Vanille Fatale? It's really close. All of these fragrances are in the 90th percentile, if I had to put a percentage on it, which I hate to do, but someone's going to ask. So all of these are in the 90th percentile range of from the original, which they were, you know, inspired by, obviously. But Alexandria does a great job with their quality. The bottle presentation is really well. The atomizers are nice, just to get a couple sprays of that in the air. I haven't sprayed it in a minute. Yeah, man, it's just very sexy, very seductive. You get that spice, that vanilla, that booze in there. Just beautifully done. And for anybody, for a fall night out or a winter's day or winter's night out, this is something that could definitely work for you. So if you're trying to save you a couple of dollars for sure, and you're not trying to go that Tom Ford route for the Vanille the Vanille Fatale, all right, this is one that you could definitely look into, Fatale de Vanille, all right, from the house of Alexandria fragrances. This stuff is really good, man. This is a 60 ml. It's gonna last me a long time. I think at the time I paid around $45 to $50 for it. Okay. All right, up next, man, this is remarkable stuff for sure. From the house of Alexandria fragrances, we have Fructus Virginis. Now, if you've been, you know, a part of this journey on my channel for a while, you've heard me mention this fragrance for sure. This is a clone of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and I've made it known that I like this better than Lost Cherry. Hear me out. One, the performance is better. Let's just start there. If you've experienced Lost Cherry, you know the performance is just not that great on it. But with this being extrait de parfum, you're going to get that automatically. The cherry in here is toned down a tad bit, so you don't get that syrupy candy-like cherry. You don't get that. You get more of the booze in here. There's a spicy, some spice in here as well. So you get that sweet, boozy cherry. That's what this is. But I think it's a little bit more balanced than the Tom Ford. I think the Tom Ford kind of gives you a little bit more of the cherry than the booze. It's kind of flipped around with what Alexandria did. Don't get me wrong, Tom Ford Lost Cherry is phenomenal. One of my favorite Tom Fords of all time, but I enjoy wearing this one more. All right, so really great performance, great quality, and if you're looking to save some money, once again, you can get a bottle of this and it'll do you right for sure. So this is macerated over the past 2 years, and it's just gotten better and better and better. So some people out there say, oh, my Alexandria fragrances, they don't last, they don't do this. Give it some time. These fragrances have to macerate. I've learned that because I have about 15 to 20 Alexandria fragrances, all right? So give us some time. From the house of Alexandria, we have Fructus Virgin. This stuff is awesome, man. Great date night for the fall, for sure. All right, up next, man, this is just a powerhouse. This is probably one of their more popular fragrances for sure, and it's going after a popular fragrance for sure. From the house of Alexandria fragrances, we have Ete Sauvage Elixir. All right, this is inspired by from Dior Sauvage Elixir. So I got a shout out my guy Said, from Frag Boys ENT, Tyrone Koppel. This stuff is 1A 1B. This is probably the closest. Yeah, this is probably the closest to the DNA, the original DNA from any of these that we're talking about today. This one right here. It's just Dior Sauvage in a bottle. This one provides a little bit more of a fresher touch. You get a little bit more freshness with this one up top, but you still get the spiciness, the rich, heavy base to the fragrance, the body of this fragrance. You still get all of those things. You get your Dior Sauvage Elixir 1 for a cheaper price. And at the time, because I know you can get the Dior Sauvage Elixir in 100 ml now. At the time that I got this, you could not get Dior Sauvage Elixir in 100 ml. I think it was only slated for a 50 or 60 ml. So this came in handy for one. I'm paying around I think I paid around like $70 for this. For 100 ml, and at that time the value was just a no-brainer. All right, so this stuff is remarkable, performs like a monster, and it's very, very close to the original DNA from the Dior Sauvage Elixir, but Alexandria did a great job here. From the house of Alexandria fragrances, once again we have Ete. Come on over here. There go my camera playing tricks on me. Ete Sauvage Elixir. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. All right, now this one right here is going to be one that a lot of you are going to be interested in. You might not want to pull the trigger, but I'm bringing the conversation because of the particular fragrance that it is inspired by. All right. From the house of Alexandria fragrances, we have Leather Intense. Leather Intense. Now, Leather Intense is inspired by Dior Homme Parfum. Dior Homme Parfum, that is what this is inspired by. I have been told several times from members in the Smell Good family, D, get your nose on Leather Intense. Get your nose on Leather Intense. But I didn't feel the need to because I already had Dior Homme Parfum, all right? But holiday sale came around last year. I think I got a 100 ml bottle for like $40. $45. All right, I got this and one other fragrance. And I said, you know what, why not? There was nothing that piqued my interest, but I said, you know what? Dior Homme Parfum is going to be something I'm going to be using sparingly. Having a clone of it, if it's really good, could come in handy. And boy, did it ever come in handy. This stuff is really close, y'all. It's really close, again, in the 90th percentile of the parfum. Now, Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum is what we're talking about. You still get your leather here for sure. You still get your iris. This stuff is thick. It is rich, and they did a hell of a job with this, man. So for those out there who are tired of the scavenger hunt, for those who are out there who are not willing to pay the amount of money to get a bottle of Dior Homme Parfum, listen, I highly recommend you looking into this Leather Intense. They have, I think, a 30 ml, 40 ml, 60 and 100 ml. Like, I highly recommend this for sure. I do have Dior Homme Parfum, so I feel like I'm good to talk about it there, but this stuff is close. It performs like a savage. The people who I've let smell it, they said, oh boy, yeah, it's really close to the parfum. Even though the parfum, the quality is a tad bit better, and of course the presentation that you get is better, but the juice inside comparably, really close, y'all. Don't sleep if you're looking for that Dior Parfum DNA. This is a good place to start. From the house of Alexandria fragrances, we have Leather, and I guess my camera doesn't like this particular bottle. There we go. Leather Intense. All right. And last but not least, man, this one stole the show from me last year. I wore it a couple of times, and I was fortunate enough to smell the OG. From the house of Alexandria fragrances, we have Forbidden Plum. Forbidden Plum. This is inspired by a fragrance by a now discontinued Tom Ford's Plum Japonais, okay? I was able to smell this in my local Nordstrom. There was a bottle out. The bottle was empty. And I pick it up, and I knew it was discontinued at the time. This was last year. I knew it was discontinued at the time. I opened up the bottle, and there was a few drops in the bottle. So I'm like pegging my wrist, man, to get the drops on there, and I fell in love with it. I'm a huge fan of Plum. I'm a huge fan of the Plum note, but I fell in love with it. So looking online, the prices are too steep, too high. I'm not going to pay what they're asking for. I go to Alexandria Fragrances, and they have me covered. Spicy plum. You kind of get this oud, wearable oud that's really hanging out with the plum and the spices. There's a floral dominance in here as well with the plum. There's a note in here called plum blossom. You know, so with the plum blossom, there's a cinnamon in here as well that's contributing to the sweet and spicy touch. But this stuff is phenomenal, man. I highly recommend those who are interested or was looking for an opportunity to experience Plum Japonais, or have experienced it and want something that they can satisfy the craving, so to speak. Alexandria did a great job here. Extrait de Parfum, just like the rest, big time performer. We're talking 10, 11 hours or even more off of my skin. Again, spicy plum, florals, sweet, a sweet and spicy effect from the cinnamon. There's a vanilla in here in the base. This stuff is sexy, man. This ain't for everybody either. This is not for everybody at all. So I really enjoyed this. Alexandria did a great job from the House of Alexandria Fragrances. Once again, we have Forbidden Plum. Forbidden Plum. All right. All right, y'all. So those are 5 fragrances from Alexandria, man, that could really work out for you during the cooler months, during this fall and this upcoming winter. All right. So bang for your buck here, even though, you know, Alexandria, I ain't gonna say get expensive, $100 or less, but they have multiple sizes. You can get you a 30, 40, 60, and 100 ml. Look into them, especially for the discontinued fragrances out there. Alexandria has you covered. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I often get asked about clones and stuff like that. So I said, why not spend a little bit of time talking about Alexandria Fragrances? All right. So until next time, man, y'all be cool. Y'all be safe. Take care of yourselves. Y'all know the drill, baby. Splack it up, splack it down, splack it that thing all around. All right. So remember, what you put out to this world, that's exactly what you're going to get back. Splack.